Welcome to Voodu Warlock 2023, Episode 6. I am level 6 now, and since the last episode, I did a handful of quests. I did a couple more out in Salt Marsh, including Danger at Dunwater and the Final Enemy. Did the first two parts of Waterworks, which were level appropriate. The second two are this level, or the third and the fourth parts this level. And I did Explosive Situations, a little solo one, because it was Coin Lord favor. Also did all three parts of Shantikor, STK. So a couple of those parts, the second and third part, I was a little bit under level, but that's okay. Getting that Coin Lord favor. It's STK is pretty good XP. A lot of people like to do it. I, kind of waffle about it. Yeah, or after Salt Marsh, I pretty much just focused on doing Salt Marsh and took STK out of the rotation. But I wanted to do it this life because I really wanted to get that Coin Lord favor since I'm going to cap and staying at cap. And I want to get that big Coin Lord finishing school for 400 favor that gives me +2 to diplomacy and, most importantly, intimidate. So I'm going to be doing a lot of quests this life that I don't normally do because I want to get favor from certain factions. In fact, I about to get my favor from Zarnoth here, +2 to concentration and spot. And I also picked up my tier 2 favor from Coin Lords, and so I have all my bag spaces now. So for my feat at level 6, I went a little out of order from what my build post says. My build post says maximize and empower. But since I'm not changing to bursting until 12, it's really just most important that I get those by then. Because your bursts are affected by maximize and empower. However, your blasts are not. So, your chain shape, your cone shape, not affected by maximize and empower, but bursting is. However, there is some advantage to having that even before we switch to bursting, because Ever's Black Tentacles does some pretty nice damage. So I probably should have just stuck with taking maximize now and empower. And then shield proficiency, I decided to go ahead and take shield proficiency now since I was using the shield. And I am getting a fair bit of defenses from that. I'm taking that piece off so you can see, so that when I take the shield off, it's not activating the 7th piece, the +5 artifact bonus to PR and MRR. So 84 and 52 on PR and MRR. Without the shield, drops to 72 and 38. So get some nice defenses there. So sticking with the shield for now. The only piece of gear that I'm wearing that's different than last episode is the level 6 boots. I have level 6 boots crafted with dexterity and sheltering. Couple slots there, Sapphire Heroism and Topaz of Feather Falling. The only reason I have a level 6 set of boots is because that Sapphire of Heroism is a level 6 augment. And then I also have the level 6 Brine Shaman Staff. This is a common drop in the end reward lists of Heroic 3-Barrel Cove. This has a Gust of Wind clicky. Gust of Wind is an excellent spell to have to blow out persistent AoE spells like Firewall, Dancing Balls, Cloud Spells, even Earthquake it'll blow out. And this has 3 charges, but what it doesn't say is those charges actually recharge every 30 seconds. It's not just 3 charges per rest, so you can use that much more than 3 times per rest. So I really like to have that for situational use when I want to get rid of a Firewall or Acid Fog or something like that, or a Dancing Ball, etc. No other gear to go over. I'll just show you my skills real quick. I still don't have them, maxed out for my level, but we'll be getting more skill points later as our intelligence increases. There won't be anything new in the Reaper trees until level 9. So for this episode, we're going to do the Sharn Syndicate chain in the market. Base level 4, so appropriate to do at level 6 if you're doing it on Elite or higher. We'll be doing it on R1. And other than this, I'll I'll do parts 3 and 4 of Waterworks. I'll probably do those separate from the series. And the 2 depths quests that are at this level I'll do as well, because I want to get that Deneath favor. Deneath tier 1 is a couple points of Intimidate. Tier 2 is some hit points. Stand your ground can be a little bit tricky to solo. So, you know, if you want to bring out some hirelings or something, you know, they're really nice to grab aggro. So let's go ahead and let's see. We can pop out the level 5 Muse. We'll bring Illyri out too. What the hell? This is a quest where you got to protect the NPCs. So we'll go ahead and bring out the hirelings. I don't typically play with hirelings, but just to make sure that our NPCs stand a better chance of success, of survival, we're going to bring those extra bodies out. We'll set them to aggressive by clicking on the crossed swords there. Now here, it doesn't matter if Rance dies, but hey, he's another body to take aggro, right? And you can heal them. So if you have the ability to heal others, definitely make sure to keep an eye on Rance and Maxwell's health. Supposed to be protecting their bar, but you get extra XP for breaking up their stuff. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. Oh, I didn't go over enhancements. Not a lot has changed. I just spent a few points in the Soul Eater tree. A little bit of extra DPS there. And that's the only change. Oh, I also picked up Staunch. Staunch is worth talking about. That's an enhancement that a lot of people shy away from, as I did at first, for probably about a year into Warlock. The way that it reads, it says you get 50% stacking hit points, temporary stacking hit points. 50% of your maximum is temporary hit points. And, you know, that's great, right? But then it says, you know, you take a -3 penalty to your maximum hit points until you rest. And that can stack up to 33 times. So, you know, every time you use Staunch, you get a -3 penalty to your maximum hit points. So I was like, I don't want that, right? But here's the thing. It's an outstanding oh shit button. You know, if you're taking a lot of damage, taking a -3 penalty to your maximum hit points is a hell of a lot better than dying. And that should be the flavor text for Staunch. It really should say, Staunch, it's better than dying. And that's really how you want to think about it. And so you gotta, you know, so you got a -3 to your maximum hit points. So what? Just Staunch again. Yeah, but Voodoo, now it's -6. So what? Staunch again. Yeah, but now it's -9. So what? Staunch again. But it's 12 now. Staunch again. You get it? Staunchy, staunchy, staunch. I love Staunch. Okay, you can't staunch enough. And all those stacks go away when you rest. So staunch till your heart's content. If that's what you got to do to stay alive, then do it. It's also a great thing to do. You know, like if you know you're going to a big, big battle, you know, or everybody's dying and you really need to stay alive, you don't have to wait till you're almost dead to hit it. Sometimes it can be nice to hit it proactively. And that way, by the time you need it, it's off cooldown and you can hit it again. And Staunch is one of the, you know, since it's you know, warlocks, you know, part of the way a warlock keeps itself healed, in a manner of speaking, is via temporary hit points, which is not healing proper, but it's like you're pushing out this buffer of temporary hit points out in front of the damage. With the idea that, you know, hopefully you won't take as much real damage. And that's a big part of the Enlightened Spirit tank, is there's so many different sources of temporary hit points that's buffeting a lot of the incoming damage. We're going to be getting temporary hit points from our aura later on, and shining through after that, or at the same time, actually at level 12, we'll be switching over to Enlightened Spirit. And the temporary hit points you get from Staunch and Shining Through, and your aura all stack because they are all different. They're all typed differently. Carnage Reaper, you don't want to let one of those things get anywhere near Maxwell. Take him right out. All right, now we're going to go over and talk to Guard Cade. And do dirty laundry. Hang in here a little bit. As I mentioned before, I do have 3 Cleric Pass Lives, so that gives me +3 to my Conjuration DCs. So Cleric Pass Lives really nice for a Warlock. It's not only is it going to affect Web, which is great for low levels, but later on it's going to affect Everard's Black Tentacles, which is also Conjuration. Good job, Froggo. Now, if you were a DC-based Warlock, of course, Web could be effective, you know, right through to endgame. But since I'm not a DC-based Warlock, you won't find me using Web after Heroics. However, Everard's Black Tentacles has an unusually calculated DC that includes a strength check So even though we're not a DC caster, our Everett's Black Tentacles will be somewhat effective, even at endgame. Definitely not nearly as good as a DC caster, but it will still be worth using. This is all Coin Lord favor for this chain. Now we're going to go talk to Burgundy Terror and do the Stormreaver Fresco. Go to the side entrance to the bank. And just in case you're really new, Lacania here some little trivia questions, and the answers to them are in the books there, but you can just go onto Wiki and look for the answers if you don't know them. So if you want to swap a feat, you can do that once per life. Swap 1 feat for free at Fred in-house J. He's underneath the Garden of Respite. In-house J. The devs just said that the raid for Isle of Dread should be coming out soon. So that should be out before I finish this series. So no idea what that raid's going to be like, but we'll see if maybe I can include that raid as part of the series at endgame. I don't know. Interesting to see what kind of tanking requirements there are for it. They've stated it's supposed to be a longer raid like Tower of Despair, they said. Now, we won't get Reaper XP for this because we're just going to take down the King of Crystals real quick, and we won't have the 10 kills to activate Reaper XP. If you want to, you can wait for waves of dogs to spawn, or you can kill the guards out in the next area, but it's just such a minuscule amount of Reaper XP that I'm not even worried about it. I'll drink my eternal potion of freedom of movement since we got some Iron Defenders shooting grease. Oh, I also get Dark Delirium at this level. That's a nice no-save stun. So you can hit a mob there. See, it just stuns them. They can start attacking again. You start taking actions again when you attack them. But sometimes it's nice, you know, if there's a nasty caster or something in the back. You can hit him with that, and then get to him when you're ready. These pawn shops here are a nice place to gear up. You don't have a lot of plat. It's a nice place to troll, to look to see if people sold things, maybe by accident, you know, like double slotted items that might have some value if you're, you know, if you're new and you're broke. If you can find double slotted items, you can disjunk them and post them on the Shard Exchange or the Plat House and get a lot of plat for something like that. I mean, even if you were able to find one double slotted item, you could probably get hundreds of thousands of plat for it. Now, just in case you've been away from the game for a long time, this quest used to fail if any of the members of the Bender family died. But they changed that several years ago, so it doesn't matter if they die now. It's just optional. I used to hate this quest because, you know, sometimes the Bender family members get killed before you ever even get to them. You know, they're fighting the Sharn Syndicate gang in rooms you haven't even opened the doors for yet. Or they're tap dancing around in traps and that was real frustrating. In fact, when Reaper mode first came out, it was still like that. It would still fail. And I wouldn't do this quest on Reaper mode until they made that change. In fact, it wouldn't, even the first one of this chain, where you got to protect Maxwell Statler, I wouldn't do that one either. Like any quest that had like an NPC that you had to keep alive, I didn't even bother doing that in Reaper mode because, you know, you get some nasty champ or something. It just takes those NPCs right out. Woo! He failed to get that trap. How about a good hope clicky there, Froggo? Now, Froggo does have +2 to all his stats, as I mentioned before, because I do have a Druid past life. So if you know, I don't really use hirelings much. Kind of just using them here to just demonstrate what you can do more than anything. But if you like using hirelings, then, you know, you might want to get your Druid past lives triple stacked, because if you had all 3 Druid past lives, that would be +6 to all the stats of any hireling you brought out, and, you know, in addition to like summons, Druid Wolf. And if Froggo, you know, right now he has +2 to all his stats. If he had +6 to all his stats, if I had all 3 of my Druid pass lives, which I don't, but if I did, +6, it's a nice boost. He'd have better trapping skills. I'm surprised he didn't get that one trap. At least he didn't critically fail it, but. I think these doors have to be unlocked if you get the trap boxes. Otherwise, I think you can just break the doors down. Kind of a weird distinction. Just broke down, and we're done. Probably the rest of the members of the Bender family died. All I care about's completion. That Bender family can rot in hell. Hey, look at that. A 5 jump clicky. That's kind of a neat item. You don't see clickies on end rewards anymore for the most part, but some of these older quest chains didn't have their loot tables updated. So quest chains like Waterworks and, well, Sharn Syndicate. There's some others too. I can't remember which ones, but they still give, maybe even like Red Fens still gives like old stuff. You know, you can find like studded leather armor and banded mail and stuff like that even. Not that you'd want that stuff, but, you know, and clickies can drop as well. So now we're going to do Repossession. And this one actually has a couple of neat items that can appear in the end reward list. One is the Runic Trinket, which I showed you when I was level 2. That's a nice unbound caster trinket. And you can actually sell that, you know, for shards. You know, you might get 15, 20, 25 shards for it, depending on the economy of your server. And then the other item is Quan's Band, which is a level 2 +3 wisdom ring. And I actually use that when I'm doing wisdom lives, so. That one's bound. Collectible chest. The plaque there tells you what solution for the rune wheel. That's the solution for the blue rune wheel. It's the same every time. And collectible here. The key to this door is down there, but we got Froggo to unlock it for us. He failed. All right, have a good hope. Don't fail this time, Froggo. Oh, I guess he didn't fail. I just didn't hear the click. Four times each. You can watch the secret door open in the mirror. There it goes. Now here, if you have a trapper, that's great. Don't just, you got to grab these items and one of these items opens the door, right? But if it's not the right item, you know, to open the door, it's going to set off, you know, the whole room is going to light up with traps. It's poison traps and acid traps, electric traps. They're really, really nasty, are likely to one-shot you. So if you don't have a trapper, what you want to do is go through these different checks, and hopefully you have stats that are good enough to see what's going on. So I wasn't able to see anything doing a strength check. Let's just go ahead and do intelligence. I can see that's a lightning trap. See how the word lightning is highlighted there? There's a lightning trap there. I don't want to touch that. Okay, I'll do an intelligence check again. That didn't work. Let's do wisdom. That didn't work. Let's do dexterity. Lightning trap. I don't want to touch that one. Oh, let's try dexterity again. Nothing. Intelligence. Nothing. Wisdom. Strength. Acid trap. Strength. Look at the item again. Dexterity. Fire trap. Don't want to touch that one. Strength, that's a cold trap. We'll just leave that one there. See, it says open the door. Take the item. That's the one that opens the door. Hell yeah. Now, I do have a trapper, though. I've got a frog that knows how to do traps here. So I can get extra XP. if I just take my trapper out here, start hunting for traps. Right? And I think if I search in between them, I can get 2 boxes at once. See that? See how both the box on the left and the right, he found them by searching in between them? So sometimes he's kind of dumb about facing the box. There we go. Good job, Froggo. And we can hear when we start getting trap bonus, we can also watch the XP report. So you hear that sound? That was tamper bonus. That's plus 10% XP. And there's neutralization bonus. That's plus 20% XP. And there's Ingenious D for plus 30%. Hell yeah. And now we'll finish the quest by grabbing the Stormreaver Fresco. Take our loot. Nothing good. You can farm that quest out in about a minute on your overlevel tune. So if you wanted to farm out for that runic trinket or the Quan's band, you can do it really quickly. And on to the final part, and this will be the final quest of this episode. If you want, you can talk to these guys down there and convince them to help you. If you do that, you won't get their chest. It's just a junk chest. That Bellows chest there does have named in it, though. You can do those side rooms if you want. They each have a chest in them. Just junk loot. Now that we've killed Bello, we can loot his chest. Targeting the Reaper first. Couple levers. Now, if you want to jump onto the rooftop over there, best to do it from this rooftop and not from atop the chimney. It seems like it'd be better because you're higher here, but there's actually an invisible ceiling that you can't see. And if you get up on the chimney, then you can bounce off of the invisible ceiling. So I'm just going to jump over here to get my collectible. Lots of mobs down there. This can be a tough fight when you're new, because there are so many mobs, and they're throwing some pretty nasty spells. You know, if you don't have good shit buffs, they can stun you with their sound burst. I think they're throwing acid dots with Melf's acid arrow. And that is all. And that is it for this episode. Other than these, I'll go do parts 3 and 4 of Waterworks. I'll go do the first 2 of the Depth Chain, and then I'll be done with 6, and I'll be taking 7, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. As always, you got any questions, you can make a comment in this video. You can post a comment in my build post in the Warlock forums, and you can stop by the live stream on Twitch. We'll see you soon.